You are the point. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you doing? How have you been? You've been holding up? You've been doing alright? You've been doing okay? I am genuinely, like, flustered, I guess, filming. A little bit anxious filming this, a little bit flustered. It's been a little while, and I just wanted to do, like, I just wanted to talk to you. I just wanted to do a ramble, a check-in and chat, and just be, like, honest at what's going on and why I haven't been making a lot of videos, and hopefully not empty promises. So, where should we start? I have been, fuck me, sorry about that. Let's mute the computer. My brain look like this. How do I do you back? My brain, your brain, what? Be real. Shush. Don't talk to me for 20 minutes. Is it really that hard? Okay, anyway. How are you doing? How are you going? How are you holding up? Are we doing alright? Are we doing okay? I'm doing okay. I'm not good. I'm okay today. Today is a pretty good day. Yesterday, I was bad yesterday. The day before, I was bad the day before. The day before that, I was bad the day before that. You can see a pattern. So, interestingly, I feel like I'm not doing this very well. Deep breaths. Alright, let's just take this. No, don't take it off then, because then you'll always twist it around. Okay. You bumped the mic. You did. Alright. Deep breaths with me, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hello. Hi, I am Spantopia Rosé, but you can call me Span. How are you? I thought today we could do a little bit of a check-in and chat, just an honest, how are you doing? How am I doing? Just a little honest check-in and chat. I have my coffee here with my little vegetables, the dinosaur from Philippa Fawcett on there. But it's quite warm, and that's a hot drink, so I might not be drinking too much of that throughout this video. But how are you? How have you been? How have you been doing? I have been away from camera. I've been off screen. I've been having my own little mental health journey, as we do. I've got some fun new diagnosis, well, at least one, which I think I've mentioned before on this channel, called PMDD. Now, PMDD is like a premenstrual hormonal issue, where I basically, for me personally, how it affects me is that I lose all my coping mechanisms. All of my coping mechanisms just completely disappear for like 2 weeks of my life, which is half my life, which I would have noticed before if it wasn't such a long time. So I get PMS, and that's usually 3 to 5 days before you bleed. You have normal. What is normal? People have symptoms of PMS 3 to 4, but I get them 14 days beforehand. Like, I get them a good solid. There's like 14 days worth of agony, and then a week of bleeding, and then a week where I'm okay. So the week of bleeding, I'm also emotional and hormonal and just a wreck. So what that works out for me is basically 3 weeks of the neighbours, 3 weeks of utter chaos. In those 3 weeks, I seem to just not be able to cope, varying levels of coping. But then there's a week where I'm okay, and I'm currently in that week, and I'm like, yes, here's my plan, here's what I'm gonna do, this is how I can keep up. And then I guarantee you next week I will be crying again, and I'll just be like, not like I was crying yesterday, and there's no guarantee I won't be crying tomorrow, but I feel like the next 5 or 6 days I might be okay. But yeah, what happens is I bleed, and all of these hormones flood me before and during, and I want to change things. I'm like, I'm unhappy with this, I'm unhappy with that, this needs to change, I need to move. Like, all of these things that usually are like slight irritants are like, I need to drastically change my life to reduce as I've been dealing with my mental health, I dyed my hair green and then it immediately faded, and so I put some purple in it and it's immediately faded. So I'm thinking about going back to grey, like a white grey, which is kind of important. It sounds like I just jumped a mile, but I have ADHD, so I did. But it's important because a lot of the time when I'll get to a point in my life where something needs to change and I'll change my hair, and then I'll spend the next couple of days, weeks going, I'm not sure about that, and then change it again when I'm like, there's something needs to change. So I'm guessing that it's gonna keep changing, but I like the lights, I like the pastels, and I like the idea of the bleached white, the white hair that I used to have. That I saw a picture the other day and I was like, that's what I want. I wish I looked like that now. I also I know in my mind that I need to start eating better, and I know that I need to exercise more, but before I can do those things I have to be well enough to be able to do those things. So at the moment a lot of my coping mechanisms have been eating delicious ice creams and, you know, just anything that will keep me alive and not crying is amazing. So I was having a full freak out on my poor beloved Christian it was the other day, and we snapped me out of it by him offering me ice cream, and I ate the ice cream, and then I was like, well, maybe I'm not well, no, that's not true. I still felt all the things I was feeling, but I don't know, I was feeling better about it because of the ice cream. I guess it just snaps you out of that cycle. So I know I've been doing some unhealthy coping mechanisms, and you know what, that's okay. And that's what my therapist is helping me to learn, is that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be the feelings that I have, and to accept that some days I just have really bad oversensitivity and I can't deal with the noise of the construction site at my house. So I've moved in to an apartment. You might be asking, where are you now, Span? Where are you now? And that would be very valid because I haven't been filming in this location for, I don't know if I've ever come to this specific location, but I'm at my sister's apartment. So my current plan, which day one of current plan, is going really well, is that I will get up in the morning, I'll put my headphones on, I'll do the things that I have to do around the house, like the dishwasher or even changing the sheets or whatever it is that I have to do. Even if it's just having breakfast, I will get up in the morning when I wake up, no matter what time that is. I'm just gonna, so every morning Christian wakes up at like 6 a.m. or before, and I wake up at his alarm and I say goodbye, and then I go back to sleep for a couple hours. So however long that time is, that's fine. I need that time to sleep. I will let myself do that. I'm not going to try and get up at any strict routine, but my plan is that I will get up in the morning, I will do what I need to do around the apartment, and then I'm going to go to work. So that's it to you. So I'm gonna drive from one suburb to another suburb, from my and Christian's apartment to my sister's apartment, and I'm gonna treat the middle of the day from between like whatever time I get here, so like 10 or 11 a.m. until like 2 or 3 p.m. as like a little work day, because I'm not good at having a job, and the pressure of being places and like all of the things that a job requires is hard for me. But when I'm doing it by myself, I've never had an outside location to go to do that job, which is what I'm doing now. So the plan is that I'll put my headphones on when I get up in the morning, the big noise cancelling ones, so I can't hear, and I can listen to music, and I can get into a good mood, and then I can drive to here, and then I can do whatever things I have to do for the day. So I can film a video, I can edit a video, I can make some art, I can think about whether I'm going to try and do a separate channel for like PMDD symptoms and a separate channel for art stuff, or if I'm just going to focus on ASMR and not really worry about that other stuff. I am thinking it would be a really good way to like doing a weekly vlog or something about PMDD, which would just be fascinating, but I don't want to do that here because I will be crying, and that's just messy and loud and snotty and not very ASMR appropriate. I know this has been a lot about me, but I'm very self-centered at the moment. I'm a people pleaser. One thing about me, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. And I know that I keep making promises like I'm gonna make this kind of just going to focus on my day-to-day, minute by minute, thing by thing, so that I know what I'm doing. The background noise here is a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm ignoring it. It's better than the construction site by 10 miles. So we are very, very warmly lit. I did notice washing. I have to go pick up my washing in a minute, just from here, because this washing machine doesn't scream. Yeah, so what I've been learning is that when I have my coping mechanisms, when I'm able to do things, like now, I've got grandiose ideas, like I'm going to make a video every day, or I'm going to make the best video once a week, but, so I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm just going to do what I can while I can, because everyone tells me I need to focus on me. My mental health is the most important thing, and all of that stuff I've always looked at through the lens of somebody else looking at me, which is really quite interesting. But I'm trying to really go, what do I want? Not what does my sister want, not what does my mum want, not what does my boyfriend want, just not what does my therapist or my doctor or my other doctor, not any of those people. And focusing on me, right? And that's incredibly difficult, actually. I'm not equipped to know what any of these feelings are. How do I know if I like something? How do I know if I don't like something? If I either love it or I hate it. Like, I'm a very all or nothing person, and that is something that I'm really struggling with, because I'm either, especially in this situation, so I was like, if I'm living there, I have to be there all the time. But that's just not true. I can live there and leave every day. Like, that's not a problem. I also am like, well, if I'm here at this apartment for 4 hours a day, why aren't I here for 24 hours a day? Like, it's just so black and white in my head, and I'm trying to work around that, and I don't know if it will work, and I am aware that I don't know if it will work, so I don't want to overcommit. I don't want to overcommit, but at the same time, I don't want to undercommit, because if I undercommit, I just spiral worse and worse and do nothing and feel like I just make nothing in my life. I do nothing, and I feel like a loser. I can't help it. I don't like it. I don't want to. I feel unproductive. I feel like I'm not worth any time. I'm not worth the time that I have, you know. So I want to keep making ASMR because that makes me feel productive and loved in a certain way, and it feels like helping you, and helping me, and helping me. So I think this is something I like, something I enjoy, and it's not something I can do at the apartment where I live because it's too noisy, but it is something that I can do here, and just ignore the small noises, and just deal with those. You can just deal with those, and if you don't like the small noises in the background, you don't have to watch my videos. That's just how it's gonna be, babe. So, how have you been? What have you been up to? What great channels have you been watching that I've been missing? I haven't been watching much ASMR either, which is something I'd like to do more of. I'm having another side dilemma about whether I just want to focus on ASMR and make that my art, make that my creativity, make that my job, or if I want to do art, like if I want to paint paintings and burn biography and sell that art or not, which I guess I do want to do, but it's also really hard, and being creative means making mistakes, and making mistakes means a sense of, again, I'm just getting this word failure. I don't feel like it's really that. I think it's a sense of, I don't know, grief for what I could have made but hadn't, I guess. Anyway, I put a lot of pressure on myself around my art stuff because I want it to look good. I want it to be something that I like. And then when that doesn't work out, I get really bummed out and angry that I know that I can do it, even though if I can't do it. So my plan is to take all of my physical art supplies, or most of my physical art supplies here, and then if I want to do art of the challenge of my PMDD and my other problems like autism and ADHD and all of these things that I'm learning about and coping with, all of these things are very personal and isolated to me, even though lots of people have these things. It's very personal, it's very varied, and the things that affect me. Like I've spent most of my life going, I'm overreacting, when really these things are affecting me. Like the noise is not an inconvenience, it is debilitating. Like I get overwhelmed by the noise and I can't do anything and I can't stop myself from listening to the noise. And then if I put my headphones on after an hour or 2 hours, it starts to really push at my scalp and give me a headache, and I hate it, and I take my headphones off and I can hear the noise, and the trigger cycle just keeps going and going, and I have a very miserable time, and that's not a very good quality of life. And that's something my doctor was talking about, which is interesting because I've never really had somebody say that about someone who's not, I don't know, dying, I guess. But he was saying it's all about the quality of life that you have, and he was obviously recommending meds and stuff, and that meds can help with quality of life, and I'm thinking about it, honestly, but we'll see. Maybe if I take some meds, I won't be as triggered by the sounds because my anxiety will be lower, so I'll have more coping mechanisms, but maybe not. Also, I know that I am very, very sensitive, not just to sound and light and everything, but I'm very sensitive to medication, so I'm really hesitant to take anything. And I also have all of these genetic things. Actually, you may have seen on Netflix, Limitless, Chris Hemsworth, Limitless, a series where he does all this stuff about health and stuff, and he talks about doing a big DNA spread, and one of the genes that they pulled out and singled out was the dementia gene, which was ApoE44, and he's a 4-4, which is my mum, but I'm an ApoE3-4, a 3-4, so I've got like a little bit more of a chance, but not as high as my mum. So yeah, that's really exciting. It's awful and it's hard and it's stressful, but it's really exciting science. So we've got a new doctor who's going to help us deal with that stuff as well. We don't get in for a couple of months, but that's just how life be. You just got to learn to cope in the meantime. And that's the thing. You go to one appointment, it's like therapy. You go to one appointment, and in that hour, you just explode, and then you just have to spend the next however long it is until your next appointment, just dealing with all of the pieces that exploded in therapy until you're back to being able to go to therapy, and then you explode again. That's my experience of life anyway. Same goes with the doctors. So I went to Sydney for a couple of days with my sister, and I was exhausted. I was really tired before I even started. I had all of this emotional dysregulation because there was problems with interpersonal relationships that I have with some of Christian's friends, because while I like them all, but I get really stressed from interacting with people, it really gets me. So if you are one of Christian's friends and you're watching this, please, I know that it is not you that is the problem. It is all people. Other people are the problem. I've still got that little lisp, that little whistle in my S's. Hopefully that's not too mole-like and annoying. Anyway, I had all this interpersonal drama going on that just made me feel like it was in high school, and then I had all of this, there's no construction noise days where I was a little bit more excited about, I went to Sydney, which is a big deal, a lot of things, like a lot of input, but also a little bit of dopamine because new exciting things, and my ADHD goes, yes, and my autism goes, why aren't we staying at the YHA, why aren't we staying at the YHA, when we're staying at a different place, in a different section of Sydney that I'd never been to before. So that was it was familiar because I've been to Sydney a bunch of times, but it was unfamiliar because I'd been to those particular parts of Sydney. It's fun to catch a train and stuff like that. So I've had a few good days, even though I was emotional in those days, and I was still. And then when I came home, I had another whole day where I was just an absolute tyrant, going, I need to change something. And then I made this decision, and then the next day I didn't like the decision anymore, and I was like, lucky I didn't tell anyone about that. I did tell multiple people, including my therapist, so now I've got to go back to therapy, I don't want to do that. I personal problems that real jobs, that employment has. So because I'm unemployed, I do this. This is what I do. I do art. I do ASMR. I do YouTube. I do Patreon. Check me out on Patreon if you wish to support me in any way financially. But I do have a disability. Like I am disabled, so it's okay that I can't work. And I just got on a brilliant scheme called the NDIS, which is like funding for disabled people, and that's just a huge relief because money is awful. Money is just the bane of of everyone's existence, the bane of society's existence. I just noticed that this eyeball has 2 light spots, and it makes me look like a cartoon character, and I love it. Perfect lighting. Yeah, so I've got a little bit more funding to deal with things like therapy and things to support my disability because I'm disabled, which is still something I'm coming to terms with. I still have panic attacks about this in my bad weeks, but this is a good week, and I'm like, yeah, neurodivergency, yeah, disability, like, it's fine. I'm proud. I'm not crying at the moment. Like, it's so interesting how incredibly varied my moods have been, and it's taken 33 years, or at least since I've gotten my first period, since I was like, I don't know, 12, I don't know. So it's taken many, many, many years to pick up on this PMDD because I thought I was just all of these other things. I thought I was anxious. I just thought I was bad at coping, and I am bad at coping, but that's because my hormones are so all over the place that even on a regular pill, I go mental, and I go mental for a lot longer than other people. So when somebody says, oh, track your symptoms, I only tracked in those 5 days where I was supposed to have PMS, but tracking the symptoms without thinking about what everyone else says it should be, it turns out it's most of my life. There's like maybe 1.5 weeks where I'm good, I'm alright, I'm able, I'm capable, I'm not freaking out, and then there's 2 weeks where I am freaking out and I'm not good, and then there's a week where I'm freaking out and I'm not good and I'm actively bleeding. So my cycle is very traumatic, and it's like these tiny little bits, and also it's hard to it tricks you because you think when you are PMSing, you think you can see clearly. You're like, this is what my life is like, and then when you're in a week like this, you're like, this is what my life is like actually. So it's really interesting to balance out your beliefs, my beliefs about my life, about myself, about my identity, about everything is coming into question, even more so than my autism diagnosis, because it's just layer after layer after layer of this is why my life is so difficult, which is fascinating. And